Should I be wearing my headset, or am I meant to go into like a different audio mode or something? My name is Daniel Reeves, and I'm a inside sales representative at Message Media. Yeah, so what is SMS chat? So, I guess everyone's quite familiar with texting, like we all have phones, literally. But for businesses, it is a bit different, right? And it's a bit more complex. That said, I kind of personally break it down into two main categories. So there's what you'd call ad hoc, sort of one-to-one style messaging. And then there's the more, like automation-driven style messaging. So the one-to-one ad hoc stuff it's essentially a business able to sort of liaise sort of in a very conversational and natural way in a real-time sort of fashion with a key stakeholder. Whereas on the other hand, like the automation is more about the system doing the heavy lifting, right? So instead of someone at the company liaising and having to be there like in real time, the system does a lot more of the heavy lifting, right? And that's through keywords, through automations, through rules and triggers, and it gets it done in a more efficient fashion. Less tailored, which is where you can do a mix of both, but that's kind of the trade-off that you're looking at. Those are the two main channels that we think about. So there are a couple sort of facets to this, but straight out of the gate, I would say that a big part of it is around evolving expectations. So for example, if you back in the day, if you booked an appointment, you put it in your own calendar, you put it in your own journal or diary, what have you, and you reminded yourself. But nowadays, as the world's gotten sort of busier, people have gotten, more preoccupied, there's been a switch in mentality. And now people are gravitating to the businesses that kind of alleviate that responsibility, especially when we're talking about the younger generation coming up. It just builds a better relationship with that customer. So not just expectation, when we're talking about two-way SMS, there's a connection with brand trust as well, right? So because brand recognition is brand trust, there more than ever is connected with emotional connection. So hypothetically, if you contact a business and they take 7 days to get back to you, that lack of immediacy means that not only do they not sort of value you as a customer, but they don't value the connection. Whereas when you're looking at SMS, it means you can stay in contact with customers real time, whatever their needs. Finally, there is an important question around how you contact people generally when you're a business, right? Because nowadays, there are so many more platforms than there used to be. But because of those options, the customers, the end users, if you will, they don't want to have to step outside of their comfort zones of whatever platforms that they're using. So, to give a more sort of solid example, they don't want to download your app. They don't want to log on to your website. They don't want to send a fax, Telegram, carrier pigeon, like whatever it is you're kind of asking of them. At the end of the day, you need to meet them where they're at, right? So if the end result is contacting customers and keeping in touch with people, why wouldn't you want to reach as many as you can? So SMS is the way to go. Pretty much everyone. So every day I speak to venue owners doing bookings, restaurants sorting out their rostering, even retailers doing deliveries and pickups, which you would have received. But even other things like mental health helplines, like salespeople contacting their new prospects. To maybe put a firmer example around it, so that, to give you perspective. The other day, I was speaking to a contracting agency that was looking at getting fellas onto work sites. And so they would have like a job coming up, say, that weekend. And normally, they've got about 300 people in their roster, right? So they'd go calling around everyone, trying to find out who was available to go onto the work site. When they brought in SMS instead, then they discovered that they were able to contact 300 people at once and have the first 40 people who expressed interest then be locked in, turning what was like an hour-long job into 15 minutes, right? So I suppose my question to you would be, is it time to figure out how SMS could work for your business?